Hello and welcome to the Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Ockman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci and Bob Hassick. Hey guys, how are you and why are we doing this? After you're done explaining how you're doing and why we're doing this, I will explain this movie.
I'm kind of pissed off because after all the basketball puns that Dennis Rodman made, and this is maybe catch-all territory, I don't know anything about basketball. I'm like, is he good? And turns out, he was quite good.
Extremely good. Yeah.
So I'm kind of pissed off because I was going to make fun of him for being a bad basketball player, but it turns out he is quite the opposite.
Yeah, quite the opposite, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, he was very good. You know, speaking of the other star of this movie, or should I say the actual star of this movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme, or JCVD, has been spreading his legs all over this show for months. And this this movie was bound to come across our screens at some point.
Yeah.
And given the amount of laugh out loud moments I had during this movie, I'm kind of glad it did.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it for all the wrong reasons, but I enjoyed it. So what it is, the double team is Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme. They're not both secret agents, but Jean-Claude is. And he's trying to rescue his wife and soon-to-be son because she's pregnant. And an eccentric arms dealer by the name of Mr. Yaz, played by Dennis Rodman, is there to help him. So I don't know. We'll get into the catch-all, why these two teamed up to do this stuff together, but Jean-Claude is killed on mission, but not really. He's just sent off to a retirement home of sorts for secret agents, and he's not allowed to leave. But he escapes anyway, first to ever do so, and he teams up with Dennis Rodman to save his wife and son from Mickey Rourke, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Who is the agent that put him down in the first place. So can he win? We'll find out in Double Team. Why don't we first throw it to YouTube before we get into our tests?
Sitting on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. Sounds awfully familiar.
It's good, though.
No, it isn't. YouTube comments. All right, this is short and sweet, off the paid version on YouTube. Quote, I hate practice, but I never miss twice, brother, end quote. God, I loved this movie as a kid and still do to this day. Have Rodman's autographed jersey, and it's one of my most prized possessions.
Nice.
Number 2, combination of vintage 90s Van Damme, the gentleman action figure who would overreact and fall into traps, with Rodman, who did a distinctly satisfactory job at being a martial arts action figure, too. Especially the sliding sweep kick applied just before Jean finds his wife in the movie. Next comment. It has been too long. These two guys need to go ahead. These two guys need to go head to head again. It would be worth the wait. Next one.
Head.
Can you fly a plane? Like a bird. Birds don't fly planes. And then the last one is a awesome movie.
Yes. Couldn't agree more than...
Is distinctly satisfactory a compliment?
I don't know.
That's like calling someone's penis shockingly adequate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be an average penis, but shockingly. All right, let's throw it to test number 1, the worst of its kind.
I feel like somebody stuck a big club up my ass.
The worst.
And it hurts.
Of its kind.
I've got to figure out a way to get it out of there.
Hooray.
That always shocks me, that bumper. Can't believe we watched a movie where they say that, where someone says that. Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme. One I think we need to do, a 46.
Isn't that like the one that made him famous? Like the really good one?
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in movies before that. But yeah, that was his big one. The Enforcer with... Yeah, I know he was in No Retreat, No Surrender. I think it was another one that will definitely make an appearance on the pod. That was like late 80s, not early 90s. Yeah, and I think he's like a kickboxer in that one too. Go figure. The Enforcer with Clint Eastwood, a 71.
Okay.
The Last Boy Scout with Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis, a 46 again.
Okay.
That I didn't see, but it looks bad.
It's bad.
Yeah. Taken with Liam Neeson, a 59.
Yeah.
And Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, surprisingly a 39. I'm pissed about that.
Yeah. No,
That movie is good.
I haven't seen it.
It's good. I don't care what
That's
anyone
one of the
says.
ones, like, sometimes critics get so jaded during certain eras of, like, certain movies being popular that
Yeah,
they can it because they've seen so many, but then the audience score is disproportionately high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, I
I'm
kind of
like-
want to know.
I'm like 50% on Denzel Washington. Like half the stuff I'm like blown away by, and half the stuff I'm like annoyed by. So I don't know. I wonder.
He is incredible.
Yeah, Man on Fire,
But he
89%.
chooses audience score.
89% audience score. Yeah.
Yeah, you see? I mean, sometimes the critics in the audience do disagree. I guess I'm part of the audience, but I consider myself a critic, and I think 39 is a little low. Anyway, the average for those 5 movies we just mentioned is a 52.2 on Rotten Tomatoes, according to them. Double Team, what did it get on Rotten Tomatoes?
Based on YouTube, and like they weren't doing the usual like mentally ill liking the movie for the wrong reasons, and they weren't doing
That's true.
They weren't doing the trolling that happens when something's really bad and that people are leading into how bad it is. I'm gonna say it's on par with what we've gotten, like somewhere in like the 45 range.
Okay.
I know this one, so I'm gonna abstain.
Well, Bob already knows that it's an 11, which is perfect.
yes.
A 1 for Rodman and a 1 for JCVD. Side by side there. Negative 41.2 and worst of its kind, a bad score. But as you probably already know, I'm going to quit the foreshadowing here. The average for the worst of its kind for Double Team is lower than the score. The average of all the movies on Rotten Tomato is lower than the negative score that Sniper Special Ops has. So we already know who wins that one, but let's throw it to test number 2 to see how it fares in Ain't That a Pitch.
Sure.
But for all you Hulkamaniacs that haven't seen No Holds Barred yet, I'm making a list, and I'm checking it twice, and you better go see No Holds Barred. Otherwise, I'll body slam you when I see you. Hulkamaniacs, what you gonna do when No Holds Barred runs wild on you?
Test number 2. Ain't That a Pitch? I feel I went first 2 weeks ago and last week, so how about I go second?
Yeah, and I went first last week, so that means Bob's got to go first this week.
All right, I will go first.
All right.
So we're pitching Double Team with Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, so there once was an athlete named Dennis Rodman who thought he could act, but he was wrong, man. Boom, crash, smash, bang, punch. More cheese than Van Damme ate for lunch. I'm hoping this becomes something I've forgotten.
Nice.
All right. You want to go next or me, Chris?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Quinn has no guns, but Mr. Yaz does. So Van Damme recruits Rodman, and they are fast buds. They save his son and wife, which is all well and nice, but what he loves most in life is fucking his bathtub.
Oh, there's a theme. I love a theme.
Yeah. There once was a Jean-Claude Van Damme who joined forces with a shooty hoop man. There were detonating coins, bathtubs destroyed by their loins, and a lot of violence at a suspiciously understaffed NICU.
True. The
I like
hospitals were not
Rob's
staffed anywhere.
I like Rob's for shooty hoop man.
I do too. But I'm gonna go with Bob's because of the cheese comment. So Rob, who you got?
I was gonna go you, Chris, because I like the bathtub fucking.
What were you gonna give me? Just out of curiosity.
4.
All right, I'll change mine to me and a 4, so I win with a 4-star. Let's throw it to test number 3, the most offensive.
Oh, Jimmy, don't even
Well,
worry
no,
about
no,
it.
look at me. Don't think about anything. I want to ask you a question. When you came pulling in here, did you notice a sign on the front of my house that said dead
Saddle.
storage?
Jimmy, you know I ain't seen no shit.
Did you notice a sign in the front of my house that said dead
Saddle.
storage?
No, I didn't.
You know why you didn't see that sign? Because it ain't there, because storing dead
Saddle.
ain't my fucking business. That's why.
The most offensive. All right.
Number 1, casual car bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly who it is that Mickey Rourke or Stavros, I think his last name is. I would have gone with an easier last name to remember because Stavros is kind of tough. It took me like halfway into the movie to remember what his last name was. and he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
It should be like Chuck, something easy like that.
Chuck Voltage or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, I like Chuck Voltage. But he bombs some secret agent right in the beginning by like getting out of his car and being like, "Oh, well, you're locked in now, and I left you a little present, and it's a car bomb." And right in the middle of the streets of Rome.
Yeah.
Number 2, shortly after that, JCVD gets a team together to go to a circus to take down Mickey Rourke's character. And for that, I wrote Circus Skirmish despite civilians.
Mm-hmm.
So many.
Because, you just have to wait until he gets in the car and drives away a little bit and then attack him.
Yeah.
They open fire on Mickey Rourke and his team, Stavros's bad guys, in the middle of a crowded, full of people circus or fair or carnival or whatever. Yeah. And it's outrageous.
Wouldn't it be funny?
They just wouldn't do that.
If like some dude was like playing like that, shoot the water pistol into the clown's mouth to blow up the balloon game to impress his girl, and like he clearly sucks at it, but a stray bullet pops the balloon. He's like, "All right."
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. That would have been better than anything in this movie.
All right, write that down for when we make our movie.
Yeah, which is coming. Number 3, maternity munitions. Rob kind of mentioned this already, but we've got a maternity ward, NICU, where Stavros and Jack Quinn go at it. That's Mickey Rourke and JCVD. There are no staff members in the hospital, just a bunch of babies in, like baskets.
Unattended, critically cared for babies.
Yeah, that was a laugh out loud moment for me.
The ones with like the tubes in their nose and like the
there was one in like an air tank. Yeah. God, it was awful.
No nurses on staff, dude.
Not a single third shift nurse.
Nope. But JCVD does save a baby from the grenade. I'm hoping all of them were fine, but he does save one baby from a grenade explosion. The fate of the other baby is uncertain. Number 4, nerve gas nursing home. So all these secret agents that are retired, essentially, are all given a second life at a retirement home somewhere out in the Caribbean or something like that, on some island.
Yeah, Galapagos or something.
Yeah. And they're all given 5 minutes to get back to their rooms after they have these super special meetings or lunch or whatever the fuck. And if you don't make it back to put your thumbprint down, the nerve gas shoots into your room and kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? No one can escape. What are you going to do? Kill all the other secret agents? Like, what is your motive? I didn't understand that. Nope. It was just so that we had a 0-hour trope and a device that Van Damme had to get his way out of all impressively.
Yeah.
Number 5, I've got 2 more after that. Number 5 is wedding warfare.
Oh my God.
So we have casual car bombs, circus skirmishes, maternity munitions, and wedding warfare. In the middle of Rome, there is a wedding going on, and they choose that scene as well to open fire on the bad guys again. It's so chaotic, it's crazy, and it ruins this poor bride's beautiful scenery. Pigeons go flying, and so do bullets. It's a wild situation, and would just never another thing that would just never happen.
I'll bring it up since you mentioned it.
Yeah,
and then seconds later, they're in the same square, and everyone's just milling about, minding their business, as if mayhem didn't just erupt.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Number 6, and you're going to have to hang with me here. I looked up whether or not this would be offensive, but I couldn't get a clear answer, so I hope I'm not being offensive here. But number 6 is Mandarin man martial artist gang member. And by that I mean in these movies in the 90s, there's always a fucking Chinese guy in the gang, even though it has nothing to do with Asia anywhere in this movie, and he knows martial arts. He's the guy that throws kicks and knows how to like hold a nunchuck or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's offensive to me. I'm surprised that they weren't playing like that twangy like Chinese instrument like they were in Cyborg when he got it's like a lady with a walk, and all of a sudden it's like last one I have before I ask for mentions is number 7, and this is oddly like Sniper Special Ops from last week, but number 7 is resting a rugrat in an abandoned arena aisle.
Oh,
so
yeah,
Rodman
that was bad.
saves the baby and then just leaves him. There's a tiger running around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just stuffs him in like a duck. And he's like, I'll be right back.
Yeah, you stay here. I'm going to continue fighting instead of getting you into safety. Do you guys want to mention anything else before we send it to Rob's ad read?
I had one.
What do you got?
Shooting a kid.
Yeah.
Did they shoot a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was it Mickey Rourke's kid?
Yeah, Stavros' kid
Oh,
got shot.
That's right, at the carnival or whatever.
I think somebody used him as a shield. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say that.
Number 8, shooting a kid. I want that so that I can use it if this wins. It's going to be hard to beat Sniper Special Ops, but we'll see.
Can we edit together that Chris wants a kid to be shot?
Yes.
Fuck. I don't. I swear.
I know you don't. I
really
None
don't.
Of us do. None of us do.
No. Anyway, Rob, you got anything you want to throw to your ad read?
Belligerent amount of basketball puns.
Belligerent basketball puns. Love it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have more on that, so we'll just wait for me to. I'll be more verbose later.
All right. Yeah, I'm done for the ad read. I'll segue.
Do it.
Going to Ponderosa.
Here I am, just like Bill Cosby in the new movie Leonard Part 6, on yet another secret mission. Arriving, I enter cautiously. Then I see it.
Now get a Leonard Part 6 mini spy camera at Ponderosa for only 99 cents with any purchase.
All right.
Hi, Leonard.
Rob's ad read.
There's a family feeling at Ponderosa.
I actually have 2 ad reads. They're very short. Can you guess which one involves work frustration? Number 1. Today's episode of the worst movie ever made is brought to you by piracy. I would totally download a car. Heck, I'd even download a house. Fuck you.
Okay.
And then we have another ad read. This one came through like last minute, so I just wanted to get it on the air.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't lose their patronage. Today's episode of the worst movie ever made is brought to you by a supposedly chill mental health influencer who's actually a psychotic bitch to her social media team. Nice hat, idiot.
That's the whole read?
Yeah, that's the whole read.
I want to see that hat now.
It's like the big floppy one worn by a mentally ill individual.
Like the Kentucky Derby style?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you love
Easter
those.
bonnet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my Easter bonnet. Yeah.
Test number 4, the worst dialogue.
Some really bad dialogue.
You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
Right.
Number
5.
Sex life.
Your sex life.
Oh, sorry.
Your sex life.
All right, here we go.
Nice.
Whoa, I bet that hurt.
That hurt. These hurt too. But I kind of like this one right here, though.
Who are you?
I'm the man. You? I hope you don't judge a person by the way they look. I hate that.
Who does your hair? Siegfried or Roy?
The last guy made fun of my hair. He's still trying to pull his head out of his ass.
I don't want to know about your sex life.
Well, this has been fun. Now, who in the hell are you?
Jack Quinn. If you want to dance, ask me nicely.
I just wanted to check and see if it's you, Mr. Quinn. Damn, the legend walks. I heard you dropped out of the game, Jack.
That was a verbal exchange with legendary sex icon Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, you know he must be legendary in the sex department if he can stand up, say he's the man, and shove his ding dong right in JCVD's face without getting kicked in the balls for it. Because that is what happens there. The piercings is what they're talking about in the beginning when you hear JCVD, if you're our podcast audience only. He's getting a tattoo, and Jean-Claude's like, oh man, that must have hurt or whatever, to his like belly button ring that's right next to the tattoo he's getting. And he's like, this one hurt. And he points to his tongue, and he's like, these hurt. And he points to his nose because he's got 2 piercings in there. It's just a way to be like, look at our guy. He's a crazy man or whatever. I don't know. And then the Siegfried and Roy joke is probably why it's number 5 on my list.
Makes no sense.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, it doesn't even look like a hairstyle that they would wear, never mind put on someone if they were barbers and not magicians, and like tiger enthusiasts or whatever they are.
Dead.
But
they're dead.
Yeah, that's true. Let's throw it to number 4. Yarg! Here's some of that beautiful basketball punnage that Rob was alluding to. This is 5-pointer.
You're out of the game.
You sure?
He's up! He's in!
I'll have to call it a 5-pointer.
They only go up
Why?
to 3 in basketball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a 4-pointer would have to be from like half court.
Yeah.
That was definitely not a full court toss of that guy into the van. He beats up a dude and throws him into a van through a window, and he's like, that's a 5-pointer. It's just lazy. It's not funny.
He could have been like nothing but glass.
Oh, that would have been better.
Yeah.
Rob, you're on today.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously. All right, number 3. This is where it gets really good. This is Hummingbird.
Who's my dead eye?
That would be me, sir.
Know how to use it? It's been modified to shoot tranquilizer darts. Can you shoot a man at 100 yards with that?
With this, I can shoot the dick of a hummingbird.
He's like a snake. If you look into his eyes, he'll get you in the back. When we ID Stavros, move into position. You only have 1 shot. 2 darts will kill a man, 3 will kill a rhino. And we want Stavros alive.
So, I just consulted WisconsinPollinators.com. The subject line, hummingbird sex XXX rated. As male hummingbirds have no external penis, no actual penetration takes place. Instead, the male presses his cloaca against the females, and sperm is passed along to fertilize the female's eggs.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. And that means that she cannot, in fact, shoot a penis off of a hummingbird with a dart.
What else is she lying about?
Yeah. What else is in this chick's history? I also like that Jean-Claude is like he's like a snake. If you look him in the eyes, he'll bite you in the back.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, 3 of these will kill rhino. He just like pluralize it, which is the accent just coming in rough. The whole thing is just outrageous, but it gets worse, if you can believe it, in number 2. This is preparation.
Damn, it's stuck. Maybe I have something in my pocket.
What do you have?
Lucky coin.
What's that?
My lucky coin. And my lucky detonator. And my lucky plastic explosive.
Semtex.
That's the stuff. Handier than duct tape. Preparation, my friend. You gotta have the right tool for the job. You gotta be prepared for anything. Damn, not enough wire.
Preparation, huh?
Hold on. Let's find a rock.
Oh, yeah.
You don't mind, do you, man? It's for a good cause. Thanks. Oops, airball.
You need practice, man.
I hate practice, but I never miss twice, brother.
Every single drop of that liquid dialogue is shit.
It is.
The glaring issue I've noticed, like for having done this for 116 episodes across 47 seasons, is
yes, 47. I think. I don't know. I think it's 46.
Yeah, that's right. They like setting up the joke and then immediately doing the punchline like within the same breath. Where it's like, if he said, "I'm always prepared," and then like 30 minutes later they call back to it would have worked. But it's like you set it up and knocked it down all in one smooth flowing discourse. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
It's awful. Does not get as bad at any point as number 1, which after our drum roll and our little sound clip, we'll throw it to.
1, Daddy.
You know what? Fuck it.
This is Brothers.
What's up? What's up? What's up? This is my brother Regulo. And my brother Romilo. This is my brother Quinn. These monks have been collecting information on Rome for 500 years. The system has been really updated. Cybermonks. That prescription label you found? He's tracing it right now.
Oh, yes. Ma che cos'è questo? Che significa? Chi ce l'ha messo?
Internet.
You know the saying, when you put a dozen cybermonks at a dozen typewriters, they'll write a masterpiece if enough time passes.
Yeah, so if enough time goes by. When Rodman says cybermonks, I shut off the movie and go make coffee. Unfucking believable. Is that supposed to be cool? Is that supposed to be funny?
It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be funny.
Cybermonks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, why don't you take the lead on test number 5, the worst production?
All right.
Hey, dirtbag. You're lousy.
Production.
I don't like lousy.
Productions.
You wasted a kid. For nothing. Now I think it's time to waste you.
All right. So this has not come up yet. But then again, that's why we have these segments. Too many close-ups.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely a person that watches for details like this in a movie. And I was watching, I'll say half of it, maybe less than half of it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, stop pushing in on the subject so much. They push in on Jean-Claude's face. They push in on the gun. They push in on the baby's face, on the wheel of the gurney. Like, they just kept pushing in on every single scene.
Truth.
It's hard enough to tell. Like, I mean, I don't know. You guys might disagree, but it was hard enough to tell in this movie where the characters were and what perspective was to be perceived, without forcing far too many close-ups on characters' faces, guns, explosions, etc. It was just hard enough to follow any type of story.
That's the truth.
The excessive amount of close-ups, which is evidenced by my trailer at theworstmovieevertomade.com/Instagram. Made it literally impossible to follow this quote-unquote story.
Let me ask you this, Bob. Do you think that's for budgetary reasons? Do you think, like, with all the heightened action sequences and on-location filming, the way they save money was like by not doing the big establishing shots, but rather just zooming in?
So,
or is that me giving it too much credit?
No,
which you do.
That is possible. I was between that and I was between the editor. I felt like they actually filmed the whole scene, but edited down to the close-up. Like, it felt like the resolution was poor on the close-up, and that means they cut it down.
Okay, that's a good point.
But that was me maybe even giving the editor too much credit.
So Bob, what you're saying is they shot the scene and then like zoomed in on what they shot already instead of having had that in mind. So the resolution so the resolution's not as good.
At the same time, Rob makes a very good point. I do think the close-ups are to just fill space. And honestly, here's what close-ups are good for. Close-ups are good for after the fact. Like, you film a scene, you film the interaction, then you film the close-ups later. And I feel like they filmed the close-ups and said they look better than the faraway scene. or, like you said, budgetary reasons. I don't think it was budget though. I think it honestly was the establishing shot or the wide shot looked so bad that we have to go with the close up and leave it to the imagination of the audience.
Yeah, that is fair. That's a good point, Rob. And Bob, I love that it's something like we've never even mentioned, that it's just going to add to the way that I watch movies going forward. So I appreciate that.
Especially action movies.
Yeah, especially action movies. But you're right. I mean, we're going to talk at length about something that we clipped and we put up on the, Bob was saying before, the trailer in the catch-all, but it is a close-up, and it's one of the funniest ones we've done on the podcast so far. But yeah, it's one of like 100 in the movie now that you mention it. So let's throw it to test number 6, the worst acting, and we'll keep that anticipation flowing for later.
This is where the law stops, and I start.
Acting badly.
Okay, let's start with this is obviously our bad acting test. So everything you hear from here is going to be the actors acting badly. It's pretty simple. Number 1. This is cow.
Catherine, your damn cow is in my way.
It's not a cow, Jag. It's the swamp.
Whatever it is, it's in my way.
In your way?
Your swan is beautiful. You're beautiful.
Oh, not for long, huh?
You still be sexy. A bit rounder and a bit softer.
Take the baby. It's what we want now.
Of course. Bonjour, Jack. We don't believe in front doors.
There's a back door, too. You of all people should know that.
He was knocking on it right before he barged in.
Yeah, probably. Jean-Claude would never know. That's a really good point. He would have no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he mistakes the statue that his wife made that looks nothing like a cow for a cow. I don't know how he did that, but he's like, I don't know what it is, so I'll just say cow. It's Jean-Claude doing a bad job, which is what he mostly does. He's had moments where I'm like, that wasn't half bad, but this was not one of them.
But it sounds like he meant to say swan, but he forgot the line because he paused. He goes, "You're damn cow," and it's like they kept it in.
Yeah.
Yep, they did.
That could be too. Let's see how far this goes with number 2, offense.
Quinn, keep your money.
Why you didn't tell me this before?
What do you care? You always play defense, right?
It's time to get out the bench. The best defense is a strong offense, right?
Right. Stavros has been making the rules. If we play this game, my wife and son are dead.
You're gonna send an email message? It's gonna be intercepted by every agency in Europe. What's the plan?
I don't have one. But Stavros doesn't know that. So he'll do what he thinks I would do.
So he has to check it out.
And when he does, he'll take us right to Catherine.
That is a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both just super, super pathetic. And there's another one of your basketball puns, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. I can't understand why. All right, let's throw it to number 3. This is my son.
Where's our son? Where's my son?
I know where they are.
You go get your boy. I'll take care of him.
He doesn't.
Yeah, for 3 seconds.
Heal me.
That's the one you're going to have to check out. Where, Rob?
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. YouTube episodes go live on every Sunday.
You'll have to check that out because there's a lot of face close-up bullshit going on there. But
didn't it seem like Yaz is about to lay the pipe? He's
yeah,
like, you go get your son. I'll take care of it later.
She just gave birth. Forgive me for not having had that thought, Rob. She just gave birth.
That's true. That's true.
But we don't know Mr.
Yaz
very well, do we?
Yeah, it's but it is Rodman. I mean, look at him.
True. He is known for his sexual proclivities.
Collusion with Korea.
And that too. Fair point, Rob. I wasn't going there either. Okay. All too red for me. This is number 4. Speaking of Rodman, Mr. Yaz.
Give me a souvenir. Cut a piece of your hair. Oh, and your shirt. Quinn, you may like this. Here's a souvenir from me. Maybe my corner be lucky for you, too. I'm not giving you any pieces of my hair, Mr. Ghost Mike. Quite a magician, Mr. Yaz. Now it's my turn to disappear. Toodaloo. Toodaloo. Well, you can bet your ass they'll blame me for this one. I wonder what the fine would be. Mary on the floor.
She's looking freak, but she's much more. Late chic, fun chic. She's the head of state patrol.
Head to toe.
My shade of peach.
That's the secret she likes to keep.
She likes the boys, think they're cool.
Between her legs of the family jewel.
Ew.
What the fuck song is that? Between her legs of the family.
And that is Rodman that is speaking there. All right, hey, let's head it to our next segment. This is where Bob takes over for Fact and No Fact. But first, we're going to introduce Chad Smith. Chad Smith from the Last Comic Shop podcast. Once again, he joins us like he did 2 weeks ago to ask Rob some tough questions later, maybe some trivia for us. Can't wait to hear that. But for now, I'm going to throw it to Bob with Fact or No Fact.
Fact. No fact. Fact. No fact.
All right. So Chris and Rob are always sending group texts about Nickelodeon shows from when I was in college or high school.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about them. I know literally nothing about them, but I do know that I called this movie Double Dare, which is Nickelodeon from
nice.
Mark Summers,
Mark Summers. All right, so we're looking for the lie. Chad, you may play along because some of these are just facts that no one would ever know. Some of them are movie specific, so you can make your bet. Now, just to bring everyone up to date on the character names, Yaz was Rodman's character's name.
Yes.
Yeah, Yaz. Y-A-Z.
Like the new wave band. Yeah.
Sure, you say so. And we're looking for the lie out of these 5 things. Okay, first one. Yaz changes his hair design and color 6 times during the movie. All right, second one. The Colony, that's the retirement home for the super spies. The scenes were all shot at Jean-Claude Van Damme's timeshare in Spain. Okay, third one. Rodman said in an interview that Van Damme would never get better seats at a Bulls game than movie critic Gene Siskel. Okay. The fourth
That
one.
he wouldn't get better?
Yes, he would never get better seats than Gene Siskel.
Huh.
At a Bulls game. Fourth one. The birthday shown in the movie for Van Damme's character is Van Damme's actual birthday. And number 5, Rodman was actually on camera with a real tiger 3 times during this film.
Okay. Gotta find the lie.
Yes.
There's only one.
Rob's not allowed to go first.
There is only one.
Should somebody else go first? I don't care. I'll
yeah, let's let Chad go. He hasn't been able to talk yet, and
oh man, well, first, thanks for having me, guys. This is awesome to be back. I really appreciate it.
We're happy to have you. Thanks for coming.
And so Dennis Rodman, interesting dude. I'm gonna say I'm betting on Gene Siskel with this one. I'm gonna say that Jean-Claude Van Damme would never get better seats than Gene Siskel.
You think that's the lie?
That is the lie.
Okay.
For me, this is tough for me. I don't see why it wouldn't be Van Damme's real birthday. I think that Rodman has hair changes. I know that I've seen a few in the movies, but I don't know that there were 6. I just don't know why you would pick that to lie about. But then again, Bob foolery is rampant in this segment, so 6 times is totally possible. The colony shot at his timeshare. Man, that was a cool looking place. I don't know. That'd be a hell of a timeshare. And he, though he is an action movie star, is not an A-lister ever, I don't think. So, and actual like tiger scenes with Rodman 3 times, Bob?
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you.
Why just Rodman though? I don't know. I'm gonna say that the Rodman's crazy character in real life is why you chose to lie about number 5. He's not actually in the arena, at least by himself. I don't. Maybe that's the Bob foolery that JCVD
I didn't say by himself.
Yeah, I know, but why choose him then? Why just choose him? Why, like, if it's Mickey Rourke and Jean-Claude Van Damme do it a couple times each, and Rodman does it an extra time, it's not worth lying about, or not worth telling us. So I'm gonna.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I never know anymore. I don't win anymore. I'm gonna go with number 5 anyway, since you're playing a little defense over there. Offense is the best.
Which is basically
defense.
Really good offense.
Yeah.
But
as Rodman said, yes.
Rob, it's on to you, my friend.
Okay. So I didn't count, but it's likely he changed his hair color 6 times. So I'm gonna call that factual. The colony scenes were all shot at his timeshare in Spain. He would be the guy that owns a timeshare.
Yeah, he would.
Like, can't you imagine JCVD like going to the if we go 14 times, it'll pay for itself. I can see him saying that. So I think that's true. Chad picked number 3, which is he said in an interview that Van Damme will never get better seats at a Bulls game than Gene Siskel. That makes sense because Rodman's kind of arrogant and he wants to butter the palms of the movie critic because he's in a movie.
That's true.
I really like that one. Though. It's so weird.
Yeah, birthday shown in Van Damme's characters as actual birthday, and Rodman was actually on camera. So with the camera with the real tiger 3 times, I mean, doesn't mean he was actually next to the tiger. It means like they had like a glass partition and he was on camera with a real tiger, though out of harm's way. So I don't think that's necessarily like. I think the lie is the birthday because like it's just one of those like it's too specific, and I feel like
okay
when I lean into the fact that it's too specific, it's typically the lie.
Yeah,
because like it's just like what.
So
I'm gonna say number 4.
You all picked something different, which always throws off the odds. But here we go.
Yeah.
You were right. Yaz changes his hair design and color 6 times during this goddamn movie. But when and how and with what time, I don't know. The timeline of this movie is so messed up. I can't.
It's
even
strange. Very strange.
How many
I'm
times
just thinking of the
did Rodman change his hair during the filming? You wonder.
Right.
Oh, I can't.
Aside from the one that were filmed, right? The colony scenes were all shot as Jean-Claude Van Damme's timeshare in Spain. Here's a fun fact. It was costing him over $1,000 a week to keep this timeshare. So everyone was happy that they used it to film because it meant that he would stop pestering people about investing in his timeshare in Spain.
Was he the only one? There was no one else to share.
Now, I'm going to say this before I say any of the other 3. Once again, we picked a movie so shitty and so unknown that I had to really, really research to find information. I actually had to watch a 30-minute interview with Van Damme and Rodman to find any information. So Rodman did say in that interview that Van Damme would never get a better seat than Gene Siskel at a Bulls.
Oh,
wow.
I thought Ebert would have been the basketball guy.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that angle, but that makes sense.
That's a good angle, Chad. But you're wrong.
And he was from the the Chicago Sun-Times or Tribune.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah,
they were both Chicago writers.
Right. Yeah. And through that interview, I learned that Rodman was actually on camera with a real tiger 3 times during the film.
Rob again.
So the birthday was about a year plus off. It was like 1 year at least, but I want to say the birthday wasn't even the same, but it was close. I think he was born in 59. It said 60 or vice versa. Either way, it was wrong.
Right, and they listed his height, which was wrong as well. He's not 5'11".
Yeah,
that is peanuts compared to. But anyway, the fact that he has the timeshare and he's trying to force people on it had me thinking new movie for him would be Timeshare Cop.
Awesome.
I'd pay for that. I'd pay to see that.
Hell yeah. All right, let's talk about everything that doesn't fall under our test umbrellas in the catch-all.
And now it's time for the catch-all. The doors suck.
One of the first things they say is that the operation is classification red, and that makes me wonder what exactly is classification red. Is just red just means it's bad? It's like extra bad because it's that color.
On the sliding scale, is there like an orange past the red, or is red like the most? You know,
a reverse ROYGBIV.
Yeah,
like violet's all cool, indigo you're still good, but you get down to red, look out.
Was that the pre-credit scene of him stealing the car?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Okay.
It's right in the
I don't remember that at all. Okay.
But speaking of the thing he stole, I said, what did he steal in the beginning? What is that thing?
I don't know.
It's some giant military vehicle that he just like crushes cars with, but it looks amazingly lightweight and it has great handling in it. It's all terrain for sure.
It's like an all-terrain dump truck, is what I thought.
Right, which just I don't think is a thing really. He outran the train, so we're gonna throw it to those tropes. That's something we do. He outran a train to lose the bad guys. This is it's typical in this giant thing that he has. He raced a train to get over the tracks before the train cut off all the bad guys, and they weren't able to follow him anymore. Lucky they didn't have a helicopter, I guess.
Yeah.
As much money as their military has, they couldn't afford a helicopter to track him. Here's another trope. His wife is pregnant, so higher stakes. Much higher stakes with a pregnant wife.
Yeah.
And another one, 7 or 8 jump from explosion spots. So there's like a grenade, and then you get the Bob aforementioned close up as Jean-Claude Van Damme leaps away from the flames as they tickle his toes on his jump away from certain death. That happens. I so many times I lost count, but it was at least 7 or 8.
Except for the one that actually hurts him, which made me crazy.
True.
One explosion he runs away from hurts him. Everything else is like, eh.
Yeah, like
and he walks away.
Yeah.
he like pulled a muscle in his leg or something because he was over it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The agent at the carnival that's in the psychotic clown costume was hilarious to me. That is not that is not the way to blend in. I mean, this dude looked like he like John Wayne Gacy at a carnival.
Yeah.
And if my kid was walking by Gacy, I think I would take notice for sure. Jean-Claude Van Damme slips on a Coke can and turns it into a roundhouse kick.
Impossible. Impossible.
Yep.
Absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
But some of the Coca-Cola advertising that we see in this movie is it's shameless indeed. I'm going to try to. There it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to pick up the pace here because we've got a lot. A giant community of ex-secret agents is just it's funny, but it is novel. I haven't seen a whole lot of that other than in John Wick, which comes much later. You know, you think these people are rogue and don't. Oh, there it is.
Or the movie My Blue Heaven.
Well, that I haven't seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the witness protection gangsters are living in the same San Diego community.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And that came first.
Oh, okay. So this might have been stolen.
Isn't that the Nora Ephron version of like a serious gangster movie?
Yes, we've torn apart Nora Ephron for her Michael movie.
Oh
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We tore her a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, Nora.
She deserved it.
Yeah.
What is the lame like tech tower in the middle of the agent war room? It's pretty interesting. It's like what 90s you know how like in the 90s when they showed high tech shit, it just had a bunch of numbers everywhere and they knew that people wouldn't like wonder what the numbers signify. But they don't stand for anything in particular. There's all these graphics and little symbols and emblems everywhere, and they don't mean anything. Like if you study them, it's like it's not. It's just like a do not enter and like a yield side. Like it doesn't mean fucking anything.
Yeah. The only thing you could discern is the Nokia logo on the bottom of the screen.
Jack solves a mystery first, even though it's his first time in the super secret tech meeting.
Right, of course.
He's like, oh, I know what this is.
Is that a trope? I think it is.
Yeah, I suppose it would be. Yeah, some of them allude to having time pass before they solve the mystery, though. You know what I mean? Like it's not the first meeting that they are the most successful agent in the room, but not only is he the most like strong and willpower driven agent that he is able to escape the private island, but he's also the smartest and is able to solve mysteries and stuff. Of course, it's like Steven Seagal. He's just that good kind of situation.
Scooby-Doo trope.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
His wife agrees to meet the man interested in buying her sculptures, lets them set her up in a hotel, and then bring her to a hospital, even though she has a recently defeated and killed secret agent husband. So she's not worried about who this mysterious sculpture buyer is at all. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And Bob, this is to your point. How long is she pregnant? The timeline stuff is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They also have a cigarette. That is his measuring stick for how long he can hold his breath underwater. And he keeps making like little permanent marks on the cigarette to see how long he can hold his breath. And I thought about looking up how long it takes a cigarette to burn on its own, but I wasn't sure if the physics would hold up if you like hold it upside down, like straight up and down vertically. You know how long it takes.
It's always going to be variable depending on like draft and like what's going on and what the temperature of the room.
Right.
There's
humidity.
That's not a safe way to measure something.
Yeah, I do think that's true. Yeah. So he doesn't actually have an idea. Why not just use a timer?
Yeah, doesn't he have like that fancy watch?
There's
they don't allow you to have
there's
timers.
literally a countdown clock for their checking in with the orderly.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. Why can't he just like eyeball that thing and just like move on with his
also,
life?
Chris, the product placement on the watch, wasn't it a specific brand?
Omega.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it's an Omega.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, very, very.
But I'm sure you're right. Time for patented JCVD splits. you haven't seen them, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to the man. I don't blame him for breaking them out in every single fucking movie because I can't do them. Can any of you guys split? I can't.
No.
And I'm flexible. I can get about, I don't know, a quarter of the way to the split before it starts to really hurt in the
Quarter
crotch
of the
area.
way. Yeah. That's called walking, Chris.
All right, math teacher. Fine. Probably more. I didn't want to say half and then sound like I was bragging,
Yeah, because that would have totally demasculated all of us.
Yeah, because none of you can do a lunge. No one has ever escaped. No secret agent ever. He does. I said that already. Cut off his own thumbprint and then puts a little Band-Aid on it.
Yeah. To the film's credit, the third act is wrapping up and he still has a Band-Aid on his thumb. Like, that's a level of consistency I did not expect in this movie.
But a Band-Aid he's gonna bleed through a Band-Aid in half a minute.
Oh, you ever cut your thumb, dude? It
Yeah.
does not stop bleeding.
No, it doesn't. But I've never cut my thumbprint off.
Yeah, but
Not me
do you
either.
want him to get an infection? He needs that Band-Aid. Come on.
Yeah.
He needs
good point.
He needs what we call in the service industry a finger condom and like gauze and shit. You know, he needs a bunch of stuff.
I was cleaning a sink once, and my finger went through a rust spot as I was scrubbing, and I cut my entire fingerprint off. It was my middle finger, and that gaping wound lasted months. So I don't know, and it bled like a stuck pig, and it hurt like a bastard. So, you know, I laughed and also got angry when he cut his thumbprint off. It was like, no big deal.
Yeah, he was very no big deal about it. Like the sounds he was making, not terrible acting, but like that's if you stub your toe acting, not if you cut your finger off.
Yeah. Compare it to the self surgery administration in like No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
And like they're not in the
No,
same
even Predator did it better in The Predator, which is a good movie we need to do, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Phantom, he holds on to something tethered to a flying fucking airplane.
Oh, that was bad. I forgot about that.
He's like grabbing onto this package and just holding on for dear life as the plane pulls it in. I think as fast as a plane is going up there, you're not holding on. I don't care how strong you are.
Yeah.
What would Rodman's hacker's name be if he was in the 90s movie about computers?
It would be Trick
Shot. Oh, damn, Rob. That's perfect. I'm not going to beat that. He is on the money today for sure.
Rob, you should be a writer.
Yeah, you should be a writer. I agree. Giant basketball parachute? And Rodman goes,
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, he's Rodman's like, now that's what I call hang time while they're in the air.
But why did they fight afterwards? Like, I was really confused by, like, Jean-Claude Van Damme kicked him out of the plane first and then got mad when they got to the ground that he didn't. I don't know. I was very confused by that.
I don't either. It seemed like his regular parachute didn't work, so Rodman brought out the, like, Plan B-ball plan with a basketball parachute.
Plan B-ball, I like that. Yes. I saw that as like them sussing each other out and establishing trust, because like Rodman was like, yo, trust me, your parachute's gonna work, and he's like, we'll see about that, and he pushes him out and he's like, I'll get you, but I want to use your parachute.
Yeah, must have been something like that. They must have been thinking something like that.
No, Rob's giving too much credit again.
It was stupid.
Too much credit. Too much
stupid,
credit.
but that's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, fair.
JCVD's 90s new wave disguise is fucking fantastic.
He had the soul glow.
He did have soul glow.
Chad, Chad, check out our socials this week when Rob posts the clip of Van Damme in costume.
It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
will do.
I gotta do that Photoshop, by the way. Thanks for reminding me.
During the Rome wedding shootout, there's no way to know who's fighting for who. There's all these agents and stuff everywhere, and I had no idea who belonged to who. So that really pissed me off. Why does everybody in the movie call combat the game? Like when you're shooting at each other, like you're in the game or you're out of the game.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand that either. Why are there so many Rodman basketball references? Rob, to your credit, I don't. Is he is he a retired basketball player in the movie? Because they never they never once say that. He's a tall black guy, so we have to should that be most offensive?
Here's my theory based on zero research. I think this is probably one of his earliest acting roles. I doubt he had many of them.
Simon says.
I think when he crossed. Oh, cool. So when he crosses over, maybe he wanted to like reach a wider audience, and when people are like, "Who's that weird guy with the hair and the piercings?" I think he just wanted to like let people know that he was Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, maybe the director wanted the cachet of him being a professional basketball player. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. Foot knife, like in Wild Wild West, but no boot. The guy's literally holding the knife under his toes, like a magician holds like a coin behind his hand, so you can't really see it. It like flicks out, and then he starts stabbing at JCVD. And I'm wondering, like, how much force can you really have without it flying out of your foot?
None.
If you're gripping it like that.
Yeah.
None whatsoever, right?
I've picked up small shampoo bottles with my feet in the shower, and they don't last long.
Erin is ever amazed at how good I am. Like I'm like a chimp with my feet. It's like my big toe is on the side of my foot rather than with the rest of them. I'm so good. I can grab anything with my feet, but I'm never stabbing a guy with a Swiss Army knife without that thing coming out of my foot.
I thought the lunge thing was a weird flex. This one wins.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm flexible and I have nice feet, despite the fact that I have a big toe on the side of my foot. I don't know what to tell you. Savros literally says, "Jack's coming. Take care of business." I don't know what day it is.
Yeah,
that was an actual line from the bad guy in the movie, and I listened to it 6 times because I didn't believe it. I don't understand it. Yeah. It makes no sense. I wanted to clip it, but I felt like I'd have to explain over and over again that that's actually what he said.
No, what he said was make him shit. I forget the opening couple words. But he said make him not know what day it is. That was like a threat.
Man, I don't know. I'm telling you, I went over and over again because I felt like it must have been something like that. It had to have been.
The thing that's funny is this is Van Damme escaping from an island, swimming in the water, like ending up in a foreign country, then flying. He doesn't know what day it is. Like, there's no way.
That's true. Why would he? Why would he?
I take one day off work. I don't know what day it is. Like,
fair.
And I'm not flying over.
He gets into intense martial arts combat after a red-eye flight to Rome. He's still got the Dramamine in the system.
I don't understand why the eccentric arms dealer decided to physically help Quinn, because he's helping him by giving him the guns and giving him a line of credit. But they never establish why it is he decides to actually join him.
Because the unborn kid. That's why.
Well, they don't. Yeah, he doesn't explain that to him until much later when Rodman's already helped him, already gone with him, already parachuted with him.
It's called showing, not telling, Chris. It's something that auteurs do.
Okay, Rob, you got me there. Quinn just happens upon the hospital room with his wife in it. But then again, everywhere else is completely dark and shut down. Because it's another one of these like Rome hospitals where they don't have any staff for whatever reason. So I guess it's not that weird.
Yeah.
And then we have the scene where it's baby, mines, tiger, arena, battle scene. It's absolute insanity.
Yeah, total insanity.
No shirts for no reason. It's pretty standard action movie thing. 50 or 60 punches, kicks, no blood, bruises, anything like that. It's complete bullshit. I think Stavros might have been bleeding from his nose a bit. Maybe.
The
landmine is an atomic nuke. It's like a fucking huge bomb.
Yeah, I guess.
Like if you've seen an actual landmine go off, like because you've seen this is a sore subject to bring up, but like I've seen Ukrainian soldiers like take a pole and hit a literal landmine with it, and it goes off, and it's very localized. Like if you step on it, you're going to either die or be like horribly dismembered. You're fucked. But they don't like the entire arena explodes. And Dennis Rodman is there with a Coca-Cola vending machine. And he saves all three of them and the baby from a terrible fate of the nuclear mine. Yeah. That is what I have. Do you guys want to mention anything else?
Just the biggest. You go ahead first.
Yeah,
Bob.
mine's little. It's just the fact that Van Damme had two separate training montage tropes.
He did.
Yes.
He had one, and then there was like this weird in between like conversation he had, and then it went right back to the montage.
I'm glad you say that. I want to stress again, you need to check out the trailer. Chad, that includes you. If you haven't seen it, you have to check out the trailer for this movie. If you haven't watched it from start to finish, and you don't know what Jean-Claude Van Damme, I said Rob Van Damme almost, which he was featured in last week's episode. Jean-Claude Van Damme is doing some kind of torso exercise where he's lifting a tub full of water. And we clipped it in such a way that you don't know what he's lifting. It just looks like he's agonized over humping something. And it is hilarious.
Man.
It
now,
is
Bob
so
did
funny.
show me a trailer that shows him agonizing over something else. And it seemed like it was a restroom trip.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That one I saw.
But I can't say that I've ever put my hands behind my head when I'm trying to let one go. But maybe I should. Maybe that would align my spine in such a way that it would improve my poop posture or something.
There you go. It's because you're doing those lunges, you don't need to.
Yeah, fair enough. Good point.
Rob, please put poop posture in the right now.
Poop posture. Okay. Poop posture.
Well, Rob, it sounded like you had another catch-all moment that I missed.
It's just the understaffed hospital thing. Because like, if you ever go on TikTok, it's like everybody that works at hospitals complains about how long they work, even though they're just doing TikTok dances. So I'm just perplexed as to how like the natal the ICU for natal
NICU
babies is like it's just like how the fuck is there not like someone walking around with a clipboard when all that shit's happening?
Yeah, of course there would be.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's all.
Fair.
It just bothers me. It's just very convenient that they had plenty of baby actors, but they didn't have anybody who could just get in some OR scrubs and like pretend to be a nurse.
Fair.
Oh, that scene was so offensive.
It really was. Okay, well, we're going to throw it to our expert, the man that we called in, Chad Smith, from the last Comic Shop podcast for Rob's Magic Marvel Corner. I, too, will ask questions, but really it's all about Chad, this one. So, Rob, throw it to the bumper.
Mm-hmm.
Rob's
Don't
Magic
Smash
Marvel
Big Monster
Movie
Let's go.
Corner.
Fun.
Okay, I went first last week,
this
so
is,
Chad should go first this week.
Okay.
This is Avengers.
Yeah, this is the big one. I'm excited to hear what you thought of this one. So I've got my 3 questions here. First question.
Sure.
Who, according to Joe Russo, was the biggest hero from Avengers Endgame? And then follow-up question, who's the actual biggest hero in Avengers Endgame? Your options include Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, who gets smart. He gives Ant-Man tacos when he's hungry, and he does that whole snappy thing that brings everybody back. You have Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, who just so happens to defeat Thanos, and he is loved 3000. You have an unnamed mouse who hits the button to free Ant-Man. And you have Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, who comes up with a plan for the time heist.
Oh, that's a good point. I was thinking Tony Stark Iron Man because he ultimately sacrificed himself to save the day, but he would not have done that if Paul Rudd didn't go subatomic and realize he was traveling through time. Fuck. But Paul Rudd's Ant-Man wouldn't have had the fortitude to help them follow through if he wasn't being fed tacos.
That's true.
Fuck. I'm gonna go with Iron Man because I think that was like the most emotional thing, and I think that's what people consider to be like the arc.
Okay.
Of the story.
Anybody else want to venture a guess?
I second that.
I'm
second
going with the
that one?
mouse. I'm going with
Going with the mouse. Yes. Well, according to Esquire magazine from May 2nd, 2019, the hero of Avengers Endgame isn't who you think it is. It is, in fact, the mouse that goes over the button to free Ant-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is why, if you remember Doctor Strange saying he watched 14 million bajillion possibilities, there's only one that works.
Yep.
It's the one with the mouse.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess that's true.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's because following that logic, I thought Ant-Man was the runner-up, but Ant-Man couldn't have been.
Yeah, the mouse frees Ant-Man. The Ant-Man gets the tacos. The Ant-Man, and the actual answer for the biggest hero is actually also Ant-Man, just because he becomes Giant Man. That's simple math.
Oh, so he's literally
just measurement. Yeah,
physically.
That's just a dumb follow-up. All right.
Yeah.
Chris, do you want to go with one of yours?
Yeah, and mine ties to yours, like yours did to mine 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Will you allow that time reversal gimmick?
They did an okay job with. It's all fictional. All time travel tropes are fictional because I don't think we've ever witnessed real.
I guess the
so I could.
What I mean is that it's so overused, the time reversal gimmick. And this, Chad might be able to tell me exactly when this was first inked for the Marvel Universe, but the time reversal gimmick here is so well done that for me, I allow it, but it is so overused that I wonder where you land. Which side of the fence are you on?
It works for the MCU. They had not, because I know they're getting into multiverse territory, so I feel like they needed to tread that ground to establish that for future installments that I have yet to see. So I didn't have an issue with it, and I think they did it well. I like how Thanos saw that before everything happened. He saw his own version of this playing out, so he had one up on them. So I thought they did a good job on that, explaining the rules and sticking to the storyboard. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so my next question is: this is the big culmination of Marvel's cinematic universe. What is it? 22 movies, 23 movies, building up to this one. And I remember watching this in the theater, saying it's not going to get better than this, just because of how much stuff they cash in.
And it doesn't.
But speaking of cashing in and tying that all in, who was the best Avengers casting from the original Avengers movie up through Endgame? Was it Chris Evans as Captain America? Was it Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man? Was it ScarJo as Black Widow? Or Chris Hemsworth as Thor? And we have two factors at play here. One is going to be their Rotten Tomato aggregate score of their solo movies. And the second category is cost per each of those Rotten Tomatoes scores.
I have a feeling that Robert Downey Jr. is a higher earner, but I know Hemsworth. See, I enjoyed all the Thor and all the Iron Man movies. So that's a fucking toss up. I think just in 2008 when the MCU kicked up, I feel like Robert Downey Jr. had he was more of a household name, more of an established institution than Chris Hemsworth was at the time. So I have a feeling Robert Downey Jr. was probably the biggest cash cow, right? That's the question. Which one was the biggest based on positive ratings?
Well, it's the earnings and then balanced with their Rotten Tomato scores. So who gave you the best bang for your buck?
Bang for you. I'm gonna go Thor because if the canon leads us to believe that Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back, unless he does reprise the role in the multiverse at some point on a different timeline where he's still alive and well, I think there's gonna be more dividends on the back end with Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, all right. Now you're monkeying with my math here, just because I did not include Love and Thunder.
Okay,
I just went up to Endgame. Although,
okay.
So if you want to factor that in, you can.
Then I'm gonna go RDJ.
Okay.
Because
he
was the he kicked off the MCU and he ended the most epic movie with his self-sacrifice.
There you go. And there's argument that the MCU doesn't happen without Robert Downey Jr. making that deal.
There is that's a strong argument too, I think.
So, did the rest of you guys agree, or do you have a different choice?
Okay, so there were 4 options.
So yeah, best bang for your buck, but we're measuring it by individual movie Rotten Tomatoes scores versus like how much cash they made. As actors. So it was Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., ScarJo, or Chris Hemsworth.
Does Civil War count as a Chris Evans movie?
It was Captain America 2 Civil War. Or Captain America 3 Civil War.
3, yeah. 2 was Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah, correct.
And I think Winter Soldier did well too. I'm gonna go, just to make it interesting, I'll go with Evans.
Okay. Bob?
See, I was gonna go Evans too. I feel like ScarJo is too expensive to balance that out. But I feel like she was my close second.
Okay, so yeah, Bob, you're right. It's not ScarJo. She cost $82 million over the Avengers franchise and only scored a 79 on Rotten Tomatoes. Chris Hemsworth as Thor only cost $56 million through 3 movies, or through the Avengers movies, and has an aggregate of 79. If I included Love and Thunder, it would have gone lower because that was a 63 on Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of people didn't like that one. And so it's the big 2. It's between Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans. So Robert Downey Jr.'s movies scored an 81 average for Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, but he cost, according to the internet, a site called Average Being Icon or AverageBeing.com, I'm sorry, $255 million.
Jesus.
Couldn't hear that. I whistled.
Yeah, he because he had signed on, initially he was getting percentages to come back. So he got like 8% of Endgame.
Okay.
Whereas Chris Evans, his movies actually scored better on Rotten Tomatoes. He has an 83 average, and he only cost $62 million. So Chris Evans is Captain America. Bob and Chris, you win that one.
Damn.
Well, I got to go with Chris. That's the whole deal.
Yeah.
All right. So this is now my second question, right?
Yep.
That was really fun. Why didn't Captain Marvel come to help all living things if she knew that the universe could die? Did she? I don't know, but she should. She's Captain Marvel, right? And half of them do.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm so busy with all these
That's
other
what I'm
errands
saying.
I have to run. Typical woman.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Shots fired. Shots fired at 10% of our audience.
Yeah, I don't get her whole deal, so I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Chad,
for
do
that.
you?
Well, she says she was busy. There are other planets.
Yeah, but half of the people on that planet are gonna die.
Yeah, they're all included under.
Yeah, that's true.
Thing.
But
the doom
busy.
snap,
I mean, she gets haircuts and stuff. Like she's got stuff to do.
Yeah.
She can cut her own hair with her fucking pinky finger, probably.
You ever see that episode of Between Two Ferns when he's interviewing Justin Bieber? He's like, "You've had 2 haircuts so far. What's next for your career?"
That show is really good. That show is funny.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't have a
okay, fine.
Answer. She's busy. Ooh, yeah.
All right, Smith.
Oh, my question? Okay, here we go. So the Marvel movies are famous for those Stan Lee cameos, and the Russo brothers are famous for cameos as well, where most of the cast of Community has shown up in their movies. But there's one cameo, since this is a podcast, that ties back to podcasting. Matthew Berry, who was ESPN's fantasy football analyst and now works for NBC Sports as their fantasy football guy. He was in a fantasy league with the Russo brothers. And so they put him in the movie as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, thereby making Matthew Berry the largest grossing per movie star ever.
No kidding.
Because, he was in one movie and it was the largest grossing movie ever.
Yeah.
So, and being a podcast, you guys are podcasters. I thought you'd appreciate a Matthew Berry based question.
Yes.
And which of these is false? Matthew Berry ESPN and NBC sports analyst, was A, a production assistant on The George Carlin Show, B, a co-writer of Crocodile Hunter in Los Angeles, C, a story editor and writer on Married with Children, or D, he appeared on a 2008 episode of General Hospital as Neil Silver.
Fuck.
Which one's false?
Which one of these is false? Yes. The George Carlin Show,
George
Croc
Carlin.
Hunter, Married with Children.
I'm gonna say Married with Children is too old.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I'm gonna go George Carlin.
Okay.
I don't know enough about him, and I think this feels right.
Say he wasn't the 2008 Silver guy.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and I almost threw a Matthew Berry from What We Do in the Shadows reference in there.
Oh, IT Crowd.
But I didn't. And IT Crowd, yeah.
I was looking for a Friends joke, personally.
Oh, Matthew Perry, yeah.
Yeah.
A Chenandler Bong reference.
I could not find a Chenandler Bong's TV guide joke.
Oh, man. But the correct answer was D. He did appear on a 2008 episode of a soap opera, but it was One Life to Live as Neil Silver. Everything else,
of course, One Life
the George
to Live.
Carlin Show, the Crocodile Hunter in Los Angeles, which is a movie you guys should definitely consider, and the co-writing season 11 of Married with Children. So it was the last season, but he was a story editor and a writer on that one.
Which means that I won that segment.
So, Chris, you got that point, and you did not win the segment. You co-won the segment with Bob.
Which is great because I won earlier. So if you add up my wins with my win in Ain't That a Pitch, I win the episode, I think.
Woo, woo, woo! Congratulations! Oh no, I'm sorry, Rob. I didn't mean to break any streaks.
Finally,
No. I was flipping off.
I win a whole episode. I can't wait to go forward with me winning every episode by hook or by Shank.
When Erin gets home, you're gonna brag about how you won the episode and show her a half split.
Yeah, I totally am. That's for sure. Hold on, I'm getting ready.
Check out these lunges.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta stretch. Hold on.
Make sure you get your toes out.
You know who does lunges is not Chenandler Bong, but Joey Tribbiani with all of Chenandler Bong's clothes on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She came home.
Ready?
Oh, he's so low we can't even see him. He's dipped below camera level.
Look at that lunge.
Oh Christ, that's so funny.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, it's not just for Rob and Bob's benefit. It's for the benefit of the entire audience. Because I promised I would. She happened to walk in as you said.
By audience, we mean you, Aaron.
Bob means just you, not we. Bob means that. For the rest of the audience, you're welcome. Rob, you got to cash in your Jar Jar Binks walk sometime soon, since I did that.
Bring in a Star Wars movie. There's 20 of them.
That's true. We could. Would Captain Marvel accidentally destroy your ding dong if you did the dirty?
Probably.
Okay.
Next
question.
I think that's the end of the segment.
Yeah.
All right, let's start the bad credit names.
Cool.
I'm the Freak. The Phantom Freak. The King of 9X.
Bad credit names.
All right, wait. How about the Master of Disaster? Huh? You're hopeless, man. Utterly hopeless. Ultra Laser. Dr. Doom. Orwell's here now. He's living large. We had no names, man. No names. We are nameless. Okay, score Fry.
M. Benabiles.
That's not a name.
Yeah, M. Bison is a name. M. Benabiles is not.
Yeah.
Paolo Paloni.
Okay.
Zin Xiang.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Diane Mapcheek. Sammo Hung.
Famous. He's famous.
Okay.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Is our winner this week Chang Wing Fat?
Was that the only Asian fighter in the gang?
Yeah, probably. Wing. It's Wing dash Fat. I just thought that was really funny.
Oh, so it's gotta be dark meat, because like chicken, because basically dark chicken wing meat's like fatty.
Yeah,
right?
but it's better.
Sure.
If you don't eat dark meat, you need to start. Get over it and try it.
I've always opted for thigh over breast.
Yeah, thighs are so good, man. All right, let's compare the movies.
Anywho. Fight the real enemy.
Okay, so what I didn't realize that I did, and this is why I will format it differently next time for next week, is I put the offensive minigame at the very beginning of our movie comparison. So we're going to, after my long explanation, throw it to the bumper for the offensive minigame.
Okay, this is a story about my mom and dad.
Offensive
One was black, and I bet you think you're glad.
mini game.
My skin is very tan.
Baby in a battle zone, or maternity munitions.
I'm gonna go based on numbers. If we're just talking brass tacks, I think there was way more collateral damage at the NICU because there were dozens of babies with grenades being thrown about.
Fair.
agree.
We
I
hope they
agree.
all. We hope they all made it.
Yeah.
Okay. Delightful dead body documentation, or wedding warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Wedding warfare. I think we're going with JCVD on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with wedding warfare because like the dead bodies aren't gonna but if you don't photograph them, it's not gonna bring them back.
Okay, that's fair. We're gonna do the bonus anyway because we always do. Mandarin martial artist. Sounds offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Or bullet begat side boob.
One's a stereotype. One leads to titties.
Oh man.
Stuff.
All right, I'm going to go with the side boob because it was really forced.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing your point, Bob. It could have not. I mean, like it saved the movie for that 4 seconds that we had it. But
Fair enough.
It was not really necessary.
Fair enough, but it doesn't matter. Double Team is the more offensive movie. So, Sniper Special Ops and Double Team. For worst of its kind, it's negative 57.5 and worse for Sniper Special Ops. Chad, if you haven't seen it, you should. Yeah, well, you really shouldn't. Yeah. It's bad.
I was going to say, no, thank you.
It's
no joy.
There is no joy on the package.
There's no
a line from the movie. Negative 57.5 and worst, a negative 41.2 this week and worst of its kind, but that pales in comparison. So Sniper takes the first pitch. Team 4-5 against my 4-star. Thanks again for voting for me, guys. I appreciate that. But I lose this week.
I didn't.
Sniper Special Ops. I think you did. We'll have to check the tape. Offensive, Double Team wins this one. Dialogue, Sniper Special Ops or Double Team? What's worse, guys?
Oh, man.
So one's fake military lingo used excessively to the point where you don't know what they're talking about. And
basketball puns.
Between basketball puns and really bad one-liners, I'm going to go with Double Team.
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with that because, like, if you just watch both films in the vacuum without like any knowledge of the outside world, you could like kind of use your imagination to figure out what they're talking about in Sniper. But like in Double Team, it was just like you're just kind of trying to shoehorn as many basketball puns as possible into the
production pacing or too many close-ups for Double Team.
Yes, I'm gonna defer.
Pacing.
Okay, I'll say pacing.
Yeah, I agree. I think too many close-ups wouldn't necessarily ruin a movie if it was a good movie.
Let's put it this way: if there weren't too many close-ups, would it have saved the movie? The answer is
no.
So,
but the other way around, like if it was Empire Strikes Back and they did too many close-ups, would it ruin the movie? I'm not sure. Yeah, you think so?
Sniper.
I think I'm going to sniper as well.
Yeah, sniper.
Here's the thing: when it comes to like buddy action movies, you're not going into that with high expectations.
True.
You're going. You want to see things blow up, and you want to hear some zingers. So like we got exactly that. It wasn't great, but like Sniper Special Ops was taking itself way too seriously, and it fell short in its delivery and trying to do that.
Fair.
But if you want, but by your logic, if you want to see a war movie, you're getting exactly what you want.
Next question, Chris.
Well, the next question is just demerits, which don't matter because Sniper Special Ops already won at a score of 4-2. But just to remind you, waddling Seagull was our demerit for Sniper Special Ops. So I'm not going to even ask. Worst movie of the season so far is Sniper Special Ops. No surprise there. Next week, we are doing Hard Ticket to Hawaii. The fans voted for it. They voted hard, and that is what's coming down the pipe for you. It's definitely not because a fan submitted that one as a question. We definitely didn't. That's my alarm. We definitely didn't ham fist that one in this week, so don't worry about that. Thank you so much, Chad Smith from the Last Comic Shop podcast. We really appreciate you joining us and lending your expertise once more. We hope you do it again soon in the future. I know that the movies coming up are bad, so we'll let you tell us.
Well, Spider-Man Far From Home's next, and I also heard that No Way Home's also like
fair.
Like we have those to look
yeah,
forward to.
I'm a big time Spidey guy. Let me know.
Okay, no. The doors are open. It is up to you to decide whether you will walk through it. You tell Bob. Bob will tell us, and you are welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Awesome, and likewise, if you guys ever want to stop by the Last Comic Shop and read a comic book and rate a comic book, and just send a courier through Bob, and we'll make it happen.
That will happen.
Awesome.
Let's figure that out off air at some point because I'm not sure what everybody's availability is, but we can
for sure.
Nice.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then I also heard that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was like the highest grossing opening weekend like on Labor Day ever.
On Labor Day ever, that may be true. It's definitely not the best Marvel or the most winningest Marvel movie by any stretch. I don't imagine because that one I think was kind of a flop, but maybe Labor Day is just a bad weekend for movies.
2/3 of a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I didn't bother because I thought it was bad. I heard it was bad.
Rob, you played a sound clip earlier, and we never explained it to Chris. We just played it and
well, was it The Room?
Oh.
Your sex That's life. The Room, right?
Try again.
But it's
your sex life.
Is it Van Damme and The Room?
Yes,
mixed?
It is.
Oh my God!
Damme
Okay.
And Tommy Wiseau.
There were no edits. That was
holy
exactly.
Shit, you just played them together.
Yes, we just played them together.
No time stretch or anything.
That's amazing, Bob.
That was Van Damme and Wiseau back to back.
With the accent, they sound exactly the same. I thought it was just The Room. I didn't even realize there were two clips there. But now that you mention it, I hear it. Wow, that's unbelievable. Well, thanks again, Chad. We appreciate you joining. And Rob, why don't you plug us and then send it over to Bob for his last word?
Yeah. www.theworstmovieevermade.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Google Play. You can find us on iTunes, Instagram, TikTok, and you can email us, which no one ever does because
they're afraid.
For all the downloads, there's a healthy level of cowardice. Bob,
you
words?
Got my last word, Rob. Play it.
Oh, well, shit.
Your sex life.
All right. See you guys next week. That's a wrap.
Chad.